Welcome to GoCast, a 15-minute podcast of cybersecurity. Today we're hosting Oomesh Patel. He is country manager at Netskope. Enjoy the GoCast. Hey Umesh, welcome to GoCast. How are you?
I'm well. You, Julian? Thanks for
I'm very
having me.
cool. Very good. Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you today. Hey, Umesh, we've known each other for what? Close to like, if I'm going to say 18 years, maybe
Yeah.
ish. Well, again, it's a real pleasure. For the audience, Umesh parle très bien français, but we'll stay in English for today. It's going to be a fun session. Can you walk us through who Umesh is? When did you started in cybersecurity? Why? How did that happen? And who you work for today?
Yeah, sure. So I'll start with the easiest one. So today I work for Netskope, Canada, which we are in the, if you look at Gartner, there's an SSC or SASE. So I run sales for Canada today. I've been with Netskope for about 4.5 years.
Congrats, by the way. New
Thank you
role.
very much.
Awesome.
And Julia, you and I are so old that when we started, it was just called security. It wasn't called
It's true.
cybersecurity. And
That's
someone
true.
else came along and said, "Hey, we should call it cybersecurity." So I've been in the security space since 2003, but really got into it around 2004. And then 2005, I got on the vendor side working for a startup that eventually went to Checkpoint, and then did a few different companies. I think we met around 2009, somewhere
A
around there. So if you do the
curator.
math, yeah, curator. So I don't know if you do the math, how long that's been there. But I would say, I got into sales pretty comically, where I didn't know what I was getting into. I was, as you could tell, I love to talk, and somebody said to me, "Hey, you should think about getting into sales." And I said, "Yeah, sure. Why not? Oh, you'll get more money. Sure, why not? I'll get into sales." But I did come from a technical background, and I'll never forget this. My first ever week as being a sales rep, my boss sends me an email saying, "Send me your forecast." And I look at the email, and I was like, "Hey, what? I don't. What's he asking me? What is the forecast?" And I will go to my colleague. He goes, "Okay, well, you got to tell him how much you're going to sell." I'm like, "Well, how am I going to know how much I'm going to sell? Like, I don't have a crystal ball." He goes, "Well, I just make some stuff up, and then he'll." So that's kind of my little bit how I got into sales, and then I, haven't. I've loved it ever since.
Well, it's funny that you say, forecasts and because we're still more than ever, right, looking at forecasts because it's the way you can understand where you're gonna lead the company and what's the
Of
vision
course.
and how you can attach things together because you cannot spend crazy if you don't know what's happening, right? Back to cyber. What was cyber, well, as you say, security or information security at the time? What was the big buzzword 20 years ago when I say 20, but I don't recall exactly how long
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was, but when you started, what was out there?
Yeah, I think back then it was, I mean, if you think about it, everything was on premise. There was no cloud. It was just a data center. Everybody went to the office. You knew where all your assets were. You go into an office, you open the door, you see the data center, and everything that you want to protect is there.
Hmm.
You're lucky if you get a laptop and you go home and you do a VPN, you come in. But back then, the big thing, believe it or not, was around, the internet was taking off so much. It was around how do you make sure your employees are not wasting time going onto the internet? So it was
And
more
that's
around
true.
productivity, right? It was more around, okay, then eventually they're like, okay, you know what? We're going to let them go to the internet, but we're going to limit no Facebook, no YouTube, no whatever the social media applications started coming out. And then eventually, like, okay, well, we should let them go to these websites because now there's real content on this website. You can do
Hmm.
research, you can advertise on Facebook and all these other things. Now, how do we make sure that if they go to a website, they're not downloading malware? So, how do you protect? So, I kind of, similar to you, I saw the transition from all your assets, all your crown jewels being you can open the door, you can see it, to now the user. Everything is in the cloud, and you have to protect the user and the asset that goes with the user. So, you and I have been kind of through that transition, but yeah, back then it was a lot easier to protect your company because you open the door and it's there.
Yeah, no, that's very true. And the concern shift as well, right? Because what you described, I recall we were asking ourselves, well, are they really working? Are they not working? Let's check it out. And Blue Coat, right? Those products
Hmm.
that were WebSense that, oh,
Yeah.
we know where they're spending their time on the internet. But I recall we were saying, well, if you want to spend his time reading the journal or just playing chess on the side of his office, he can, right? Or she can. But
Yeah.
now we're looking at it. And I think it's even worse today of I say worse, but it's not worse, but the way we can look and dig into what people are doing, right? I don't know where Netscope is with that, but I guess you can map and see pretty much all the data and all the stuff and the apps that are going through the pipe, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of in a nutshell, like our company, our founder, our CEO, literally when he started the company, not that he predicted the future, but he could kind of envision where things were going, where everything was going to be SaaS based, and you needed to be able to look into the data flow, making sure that users and applications were acting, a certain way and then being able to have the proper controls. And oh, by the way, your users or your employees, you cannot predict where they're going to be. We have now, more than ever, you're online all the time. So today, you're in Quebec City. This afternoon, you could be in Montreal at a Starbucks with your laptop or with your phone, and
Mm-hmm.
you're accessing an application that's back in Quebec City, or it's in the cloud, or it's in your data center, or if you're a contractor, you're accessing something at a customer site. So really at the end of the day now, what we're doing is protecting all of those different scenarios, all those different workflow and data. And that's kind of where
And the
Netscope.
behavior that
Yeah,
goes with it. Yeah.
of course.
No,
Yeah.
that's absolutely true. Understanding risk slash new behavior and people, how they work and how they, evolve through time because COVID like made us go like 10 years ahead.
Hmm.
We were a bit still in the on-site mode before. AI, because I mean, internet was a bubble, right? It was like
Yeah.
and it fast tracked so much stuff. We are in this actual AI bubble and fast tracking a lot of stuff. How do you see things regarding cyber? I know it's a big topic, but yeah.
The scariest thing about AI for me personally is just my personal opinion is it's unpredictable. Like what I think AI is now, tomorrow, later today, a month from now, a week from now, it's totally different. What I thought AI was when the whole buzz, when the whole bubble of AI came out, I was like, oh, you know what? Yeah, you know what? It's maybe faster to get information. That's how I saw AI. Hey, if I'm gonna go visit a prospect, I'll go into ChatGPT and I'll say, hey, look at their quarterly statement, summarize it for me. How does Netscope map? In the past, it would take me a day to prep for one meeting. I can do it in 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Again, assuming, and then you kind of went through this little thing where like, oh, is this information really accurate? Okay, let's just say the information is accurate. But yeah, the scariest thing for me is it is just so unpredictable, and I have absolutely no idea how it's going to affect us, me personally, all our community going forward. I'll call it the how Netscope, how we kind of wrap our head around it is, we can give our customers control over what their employees are going, what they're putting in, what they're downloading. So we can still treat it as a SaaS application. But yeah, I would say this is probably the first time that I would say this thing could be so disruptive, and then it's almost like it's scary
Yeah.
when you think about it, right?
Well, that's true. And today we talk about, AI washing machine. Like people are just using the AI word on everything, like backed by AI, powered by
Yeah,
AI. So there's that, but it's nothing new, right? It's been there forever, the machine
yeah,
learning. And
of
Google has
course.
been looking and trying to, do that research for you and prepare stuff. And you said something disruptive. I think it's really powerful. I don't know if you've listened to Bill Gates. I think it's The Mind of Bill Gates or something. It's a
Hmm.
4 episode on Netflix, but he says something about AI, which is absolutely amazing. I don't know if it's going to happen, but what he predicts is eventually AI will invent an AI
Hmm.
to help him or her or it go further, right? And that AI is going to invent another AI. And so, anyway, Bill Gates said 4 steps of AI will be created on top of each other, right? And
Hmm.
so, we don't know what it will give and what it will go, right? You're right. It's absolutely, we're in the dark for
Yeah,
that. Anyway, it's amazing time. Let's go back to Oomesh, the path, what you did, where you come from. Let's say you can go back 25 years ago and speak with Oomesh and give him advice for his career and the cyber in
sure.
general. What would you tell yourself?
I think the it's a big question. I would say.
Apart
If
from
you look,
buying crypto and buying
no, no, no.
Amazon.
Look, man, I truly believe that everything happens for a reason. Like if you were meant to buy a bunch of crypto and you have a lot more money in the bank that you know what to do with, that's good for you. It's part of a bigger call it fate or what have you. What I would say is if I could go back in time, 20, 25 years ago, I look at the journey, right? It's like you're at different stages of your selling career and your personal life and your life career, right? 20 years ago, my kids were just born. At the time, I was like, I'm in sales. I got to make money. I got to, my wife's going to be home and I need to provide for the family. And then as my kids grow up, or even I become more mature, I get more experience in sales and so on. My I start to shift into what some of the things that are important and so on. But what I would say is if I could go back at the different companies, different stages that I've had, different types of sales roles that I've had, I would literally, as much as I love what I do, I love what I do, we love what we do, I would find a way to just make it more fun, more enjoyable. Like now, I would say, I've been in this industry for so long. I have so much fun doing what I do. I wish I could have go back and just take, because no matter what, we have the pressure to sell or forecast. We got to sell, we got to make a number. I've just found a way after all this time to just really enjoy it
Enjoy it. Yeah.
and have fun with it. And I wish I could go back in every single phase, just have fun with it, more
Remember
fun with it.
yourself that it's a passion that you're living, and
Yeah,
cut the noise and move forward and
absolutely. Yeah,
just take the good stuff. Oh,
yeah,
that's absolutely amazing advice for yourself, but for everyone
yeah,
else as well. It was a great pleasure to have you, Umesh. Thank you very much. And hope we can see you on the next session in the red couch just right next
yeah.
to me in person
Of course,
and in French.
in
Would be
French.
nice.
Yeah.
Take care, Umesh. Thank you again.